welcome back to another Opinions with O. And today we're doing another recap. I've totally been calling them reviews, right? Recap, recap. I'm going to retain it to memory. We're doing another Watch Out for the Big Girls recap. And this is episode 2. So I hope you guys are tuned in, have your snacks, and let's get into this video. We start off the next episode with Lizzo welcoming the girls into their new abode, which is phenomenally beautiful, okay? It's a very beautiful home. And she is there accompanied by two very trusted big girls, Shantae and Grace. And she welcomes them in. They're super excited. Who wouldn't be? Who would not be? You're living in a mansion. And she just wants to let them know, like, I want you guys to live the way I live at home in a safe space, totally comfortable. And more than anything, I want you to feel worthy. And I just thought that was such a beautiful thing to say to these girls who have just been busting their behinds and ultimately to become a big girl. Now, Grace, we learn, is actually an OG big girl. She's the first big girl. And that was very interesting because it's kind of like, Grace has this really quiet but somber energy about her. The other big girl is Shantae. And Shantae's story is that she was actually called in to replace someone that had gotten hurt while on tour. And she jumped in. She knew to get in and get going. Lizzo then introduces the awards that she will be issuing every time they have a new dance routine that they have learned, mastered, and performed for her and her team. People want to be acknowledged and they want to be thanked and they want to be incentivized for what they do. So Lizzo came up with these awards, the Juice Award and 100% That Award. And it's a great concept. It's really just to make these girls feel motivated, to feel rewarded in what they're doing, and to give them something to look forward to. But with giving out this award, she chose Jayla. She gave Jayla the award because although shy in their one-on-one, when it came time for the dance battle, Jayla totally showed out, can deliver when it's time to deliver. And Jayla totally owned that moment, so I'm glad. 100% That Big Award went to Ariana. Ariana got that award because, of course, she gives very nice, clean, poised energy, a bit safe, but she broke out of her shell and just completely owned the dance floor. But Ariana stood out for being someone that stepped out of her box. And although this is only episode 2, some people you can tell kind of just played safe. And so while she's rewarding these women, I kind of noticed that Jasmine had a bit of a side eye. And she happens to say in her confessional how, listen, I'm aware that I need to step it up and that I am not just the only and best dancer here and that it's time for me to show a thing or three. Get ready, big girls, because I'm coming. And it's like, what's behind that persistence? What's behind that? I got really, really curious what's behind that. Is it just for the competition? What drives that? What's the motivation? I just feel like I need to keep my eye on Jasmine for that because, like I said, what is the motivation? But she's persistent and I rate that, but I'm not giving her 5 stars just yet. Lizzo tells the girls, for all your tribulations, go enjoy some libations, pick out your rooms, get comfortable. She has adorable things there waiting for them just to welcome them. And like I said, very thoughtful of Lizzo and her team. I love that. So the girls have gotten settled into their rooms before they go downstairs to have their mix. And we hear Sydney tell Isabel that her foot is really, really killing her, like while it's in the heel. And so she explains that while she was doing her freestyle, she wound up feeling a pop, hearing a pop when she hit her cartwheel into a split. And that scared me. I'm not even in the competition and I felt that for her because she really did seem stressed about it. Girls go to the mixer with Shantae and Grace in the very nice backyard. Lizzo did them right. So while they're enjoying their mixer, getting some one-on-one time with Shantae and Grace, of course, they're asking questions and getting motivation, getting support. And we start to learn more about each girl. And, Moesha says how she really, really wants this, how dancing has been something that she has been able to put her all into because growing up adopted, I'm not going to go fully into their backstories one by one, but Moesha has a very, very relatable story. And if you want to know more about these girls, I suggest you guys watch the entire episodes. Like I said, they're on Amazon as well as Free VTV. Check them out. Get back to Sydney, and Sydney's going through it. The on-site nurse has told her, like, listen, it's swelling and it's bruising. That's not a good sign because this just happened. So because of that, I'm going to need for you to go and get an x-ray, do that, and we'll see what the damage is. At least that's to be on the safe side. So, unfortunately, that does not sound like good news, but it's not the worst news because we just need to know where we stand with this injury for Sydney. That same night, Sydney goes to the ER and finds out that it's just a sprain. Praise God. And she's like, listen, I can handle a sprain. I'll take a sprain. A sprain is not taking me out of the game. I'm here to compete. I rate that. I rate that. It's the next morning and it's 7 o'clock in the morning. And Sydney and Isabel are up and they're having a light conversation. Sydney's like, listen, the pain, I can deal with this. I'm ready. I feel closer to 100 than not. Let's go. And then boom, we just hear like percussion. We hear trumpets. We hear drums. We hear it all rattling through the house. You heard me correctly. These girls have been awakened by a marching band. Hmm. Yes, that's how Lizzo is doing it. Okay, so they're like out of their wits. Like, listen, they literally are just waking up. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. So they're in pajamas, they're in bonnets, they're in scarves. And they come out into the backyard, and none other than Grace and the one and only Charlene Quigley is standing out there with the band now. Charlene Quigley, I didn't know who she was before this show, but after this show, I will remember her because she has that big and beautiful of a resume. Grace is tooting it up while tooting it on the trumpet. I mean, that's talent now. That's talent. Don't rate her. I will. And that gets a A plus. That gets a 5 stars. That's talent. And Charlene tells them, like, we have a routine to learn, girls. And they're all like super fanning out over her, but it's time to get to work. She just has a beautiful energy about her, though. She's like, you guys are beautiful when you wake up. I'm excited. Are you excited? Let's get started. From here on out, everything that they learn will be things that they have to perform on tour or for Bonnaroo. So they start out, and it's a bit challenging because not everybody can get formations, spacing, clean lines, as well as choreography all in one go. It takes talent. The girls are feeling the pressure. Unfortunately, our girl Moesha is one of those. And because she's feeling the pressure, she's just kind of like asking, like, hey, can we slow it down? Hey, can I just watch? Hey, do you mind if I just take it from this point? And Charlene, she's very understanding. However, like, we can't let one person dictate how the entire class goes, even though it wasn't just her. While Moesha's struggling, Jasmine's over there absorbing everything like SpongeBob, okay? Like, she literally is taking it all in, using dancer terms. Like, she is completely committed and in it to win it. It is giving Charlene reminiscent of you're going to be dancing for someone professional like Beyonce, huh? And she was like, what? Like, she lost it because that's actually a goal and a dream of hers. So for her to be acknowledged by Charlene for that, it really made her feel like, wow, like I am seen. So that was a really big moment for her. And she lets us know, like I said, I'm not going too heavy into their backstories, but she lets us know she's a mother of 2 girls. And ultimately, she just wants to show them that you can go after your dreams too. And I thought that was a beautiful message, but I still got my eye on you, Jasmine, because I don't know. Time for them to indulge in a little dinner. And who walks through the door? None other than Cool, Calm, Collective Grace. She comes in and her energy really is serene. It really is chill. The girls are enjoying vibing with her because she really does bring an energy and an air of peace. We love a Zen queen. What can I say? But it was Jasmine who comes and asks, what do you do when you need to slap a hoe? Jasmine, I just gave you a good rating and now I'm going to have to change it. Maybe it was comedic relief. Maybe it was meant to get everybody laughing. But I think that that's a tactic to let people know that you're about it. They go straight from dinner into rehearsal. And Jayla lets it be known, like, listen, Jasmine, you seem to be getting your life learning this routine. So we want you to be the one to lead us in it. To which Jasmine happily obliges because let's just be real, she was mastering the moves. Can't hate on her for that. However, Jasmine needs to take a pace or two back and think about the group, the collective. But it's quite obvious to one person, maybe even three, but for sure one person, just how kind of domineering Jasmine can be, and that is Ariana. Now, Ariana's only 24, but she's very emotionally intelligent when she says, Jasmine is not taking the time to cater to everybody. And she's just kind of moving at her own pace. She's just moving on at what she's comfortable doing. which is not realistic for the entire group. So, Jasmine's got a few eyes on her, not just mine. She's got a few eyes on her. They're rehearsing and everything's going good. However, this rehearsal, they're going over spacing, they're going over a lot of different elements that are happening during the dance moves. And because of that, we see a little bit of a spit spat between Ariana and Jasmine. And I want to say that that's basically when the beef started. That's what I think. That's when the beef started. Yep, that's when that beef brisket started to brew. It kind of seemed like it was supposed to just be a simple, hey, do you mind correcting this? But Jasmine took it as a challenge and was like, oh, well, I'll just do this instead. No, correct it, not compromise it. Correct it. There's a difference. And so now here it is after the rehearsal and the girls are kind of hanging out and everybody's just talking about how everything went. They're talking about something very vital, which is when dancing as a bigger size girl, they don't teach you as a choreographer how to make up for having a heavier thigh, having more weight on your ankles, having bigger arms to bring up and lift up. And, they don't tell you how to manage all of that, how to compensate for that space and all of that. And so because of it, a lot of times they wind up hurt, they wind up achy. And who's there with her knee wrap? The one and only Jasmine. And she's like, yeah, well, some years ago I had hurt my knee. I really thought I might have re-injured myself. So I wanted to wrap it and just get a head start on making sure that everything's okay, everything's good. They get on the topic of what happened during rehearsal, which is Ariana lets it be known that dancer etiquette says that you're not supposed to really be talking during rehearsal. And she wasn't trying to talk during rehearsal. So she just kind of says things real blunt, like, hey, can you just get to your spot real quick? It comes out fast, it comes out rush, it's very blunt, but she doesn't mean any harm. She's just trying to be, because it's dancer etiquette. It's really obvious that Jasmine is trying to put Ariana in an inferior mentality and make her feel like, I'm someone that's over you, you're someone that's underneath me. And Ariana picked up on it. Like, she's not one that it missed her, okay? She definitely saw that. She's looking to sun somebody, and I think she's playing with the right one. I'm going to give it to you right here, right now. I think Ariana is the one that's going to pull her card. So it is the next morning, and our girls are arriving at the stadium that they will be performing. So we're introduced to none other than Tanisha Scott. Now, I'm sure I've seen Tanisha Scott's choreography in a lot of things. However, I just didn't know it was her. I'm learning who these esteemed dancers are while watching this amazing show. And Tanisha Scott is very well known and has choreographed a lot of numbers for Lizzo, this being one of them. They start dancing and it's getting good. It's looking good. It's got Tanisha hyped. They line up and they start hitting their little solo dance moves. And it starts with Asia, but the real star of the lineup was Ariana. Ariana is not playing with Jasmine, okay? Ariana's not playing with Jasmine. You're going to stop playing with Ariana's name. She hit her little 1-2 and then dropped it into a Chinese split, but from the side. And she did it at a pace that it was so well timed that it was just like, I mean, Tanisha couldn't believe it. She was like, geez. Now it's time for the girls to hear their critiques from the judges. And one by one, she's asking the girls, how do they feel about their performance? How do they feel about, learning the routine in general? She wanted to see two people step it up. Asia, because Asia is actually a honeybee. She dances for a plus size dance team, which they do majorette style dancing. And it's all plus size girls. Like, it's the original type of big girls level. And we see our girl Asia have some tears. And that's like a first for us because Asia is also one of those that's very composed, very controlled in her demeanor. We then get to Jasmine. And Jasmine and Tanisha have a good, intense conversation where Tanisha lets her know, like, honey, you were looking at me, okay? We were right here. When you locked in on me, I locked in on you, and I love that, okay? Sounds real good, right? But then we get to Ariana, and she goes, are you trained? Are you a trained dancer? And Ariana goes, yes. And she goes, in what? Ariana goes, jazz, tap, ballet, hip hop, modern, classical. Listen, play with it if you want to. Okay, to which they pan over to Jasmine, and Jasmine got the face. Yeah, y'all know the face. When your hater gets to hear how great you really are that you haven't shared in front of the people that can give you the best grade. I need y'all to understand the difference between impressed and intrigued, okay? She was intrigued by Jasmine, but she was impressed by Ariana. Now here it is time to give out the awards, the Juice Award and the 100% That Award. And those two girls were Ariana, again, and Sydney. Good call on those two. Very good call. You could see it in Jasmine's face, though, that she was kind of expecting one of those awards. How do we know this? Well, by what she says next, which is, I don't need a Juice Award or a 100% That Award because I know I'm that. I don't need that. The people that need that are the people that need validation, that need to be told that they're special, that need to feel like they're doing something with themselves. So, yeah, I don't need that. I already know that I got it. And it's like, girl, we can't keep up with you. You're giving us whiplash. One second, you know that you're not the best dancer in the house and you got to step it up. And the next minute, you're like, I don't need an award, knowing you want one. That was such a loser statement. I hated that. I hated that moment. Like I said, you're taking your rating down. But that's where our episode ends, with a beef starting to brew. It is boiling. That beef brisket is heating up between Ariana and Jasmine, and we begin to see that. These awards really bring out the worst in people too. Like, we see that now. Awards can bring out the best and the worst of people. Like Lizzo said, ain't nothing wrong with a little friendly competition. This is just a recap. I encourage you to check out the whole season. It's raw, it's real, it's kind of wholesome, and it's cute. Leave your comments below what you think about these episodes. I'm enjoying recapping these. Of course, if there are other shows that you want to see me recap, let me know, and we will see you in the next one.